Is the Quran preserved until this day? You see, this is the last of my worry, really, if the Quran preserved or not. And I wish it was preserved, because the Quran would be more funny and more stupid if it was preserved. But sadly, it's not. Like, the hadith says that the goat ate the chapters of breastfeeding for adult. The Muslims are lucky we don't have it no more. Otherwise, we can love more. The goat saved the ass of Muslims. Imagine we had the chapters of women she have to give her boobs, and a Muslim man have to suck it 10 different times and he's satisfied. So the Muslims are lucky because this verse is gone. And there's many, actually, even if you ask Muslims. Good night, Madari. What is the first chapter was given to Muhammad? They will ask you when the angel he squeezed him like a mayonnaise, and he told him to read. Okay, where we can find this chapter? They say to you 96. Okay, who is the one who allowed you to change the location of the chapter? If Allah gave it number 1, who are you to make it 96? Isn't it this is a change? If I give you a book, if I give you my book right now, and then you change the location of pages, isn't it this is a corruption? Correct, guys? And actually the Quran confirmed that corruption is a changing verses from their location. If you change verses from their location, that is a corruption. And obviously Muslims, they do corrupt their book. If you go to chapter 4 verse number 46, it says, and from the Jews those who manipulate the word. How they manipulate it? They change the location of the words. They change the location of the words. Same you can find in chapter 5 verse number 13. They change the location of the words. So changing location of the words according to the Quran is a corruption. It's a clear corruption based in the Quran. So how come Muslims don't follow the rules of the Quran and they are changing the location of the, as an example, in chapter 3 verse number 7 in the Quran, Allah says to the Muslims, today I forbid you from eating the dead and the pork and etc. and etc. And then he says, today I completed your religion for you and completed my favor upon you. Hold on. This is a chapter 5. Sorry, this chapter 5 verse number 3. I made a mistake. Chapter 5 verse number 3. Today I completed my religion for you, completed my favor upon you. It's complete. But this is in the beginning of the Quran. This is a chapter 5 verse number 3. In order to have this verse to be accurate, you have to find it. This one should be the last verse in the Quran. Correct, guys? If I say to you, when Jesus he said it's complete, people tell me, when Jesus said it's complete, when he said that in the cross, it was the last word, right? It ended. That's it, done, complete. Allah saying it's completed. I completed my favor upon you. I completed Islam for you. So Islam is perfected now. But this is in chapter 5 verse number 3. This is a disaster. How you say it's completed and this is in the beginning of the Quran? Obviously this verse, in order to be correct, it must be the last verse Muhammad he said before he died. In chapter 5 verse number 3, clearly this verse does not fit to be anywhere except last verse in the Quran. Otherwise, if this is the correct location, that means everything after it is false. Correct? If Allah saying it's completed, I completed your religion, completed, that means after that all the teaching is false. Obviously the Muslims, they played, or maybe the goat she played, I don't know, maybe the goat when she ate the Quran, she vomit some of it back as papers. She did not, like, she put them in the mouth, but they are, and then they put them as papers, and then things is mixed up. I'm not sure what happened, but obviously this verse does not fit to be anywhere except to be the last verse, the ending of the Quran. Even, by the way, many Muslim scholars, they say that this verse is the last verse in the Quran. Even Muslim scholars, they say this verse is the last verse in the Quran. Obviously the Muslims, who is the one who collect the Quran? And you know the funny about the Quran too, Allah, the God of Islam, or Allah, the God of Islam, he said it is on us to collect the Quran. If it is on us to collect the Quran, so how come the Quran is not collected by Allah? How come? Is it Allah the one who collect the Quran? Absolutely not. All of us, we know that Uthman ibn Affan, he burned all the other Quran and he made his own book. And right now we don't have Quran of Allah, we have the Quran of Uthman. Even the Muslim, they call it Mushaf of Uthman. Nobody call it Quran. Mushaf of Uthman. What is Mushaf of Uthman? Is the books of Uthman, or the pages of Uthman. Obviously Muhammad did not collect the Quran, and Muhammad was not in the favor of collecting the Quran, and this has never been his to be his attention. This is why in chapter 75 verse number 15 he said, Inna alayna jam'ahu wa Qur'anahu. It is on us to collect it. 75:17, you know, not 15. So it is on us to collect the Quran and to recite the Quran, to collect it. So the duty of collecting the Quran was a duty of Allah, not the duty of Uthman. Now this is my challenge to the Muslims. Did Allah collect any Quran? No. Is the Quran you have today is collected by Allah? No. Even not by Muhammad.